Now we'll see how to write the formula. Formula of a compound. You know already what is a compound. It is nothing but union of two or more atoms with a chemical bond. With a chemical bond. Now, here we know already there are two type of ions. One we call as cations and another one we call it as anions. Cations are also called as basic radicals. Anions are also called as acid radicals. They are also called as positively charged ions. They are negatively charged ions. Now, before going to the cations, anions or basic radical, positively charged, why they are so called cations and anions? Here the word cation is actually taken out from the concept called as cathode. Ion, here it is anode. You know already during the electrolysis process, you know already about the electrolysis process. During this process, here we have two electrodes. One we call it as cathode and another one we call it as anode. Here cathode is actually a negatively charged and anode is a positively charged. And when the chemical compound, for example, I can take NaCl, sodium chloride. When sodium chloride is electrolyzed, that means when current is passed through this molten, that is liquid state, NaCl, we know that the sodium is positively charged and chlorine is negatively charged. So here the sodium ions, that is these ions are migrating towards cathode because it is negatively charged. So the ions which are moving towards cathode, here cathode is negatively charged and the ion which is moving toward this is definitely the oppositely charged, so therefore this we call it as cation. Like that, the chloride ions are negatively charged and are migrating or moving towards the anode. Chloride is negatively charged, anode is positively charged, so therefore this ion is moving towards anode. That's why it is called as anion. Cation. So this cat is refers to cathode and ions. This is an anode ion. So here during the electrolysis process, the positively charged ions are moving towards cathode, hence the name cations. The negatively charged ions are moving towards anode, hence they are called anions. That is one important point. Second, they are also called by basic radicals. Why they are so called basic radicals? It is because when such ions, for example, if I take sodium ions, is dissolved in the water, water means H plus OH minus. So these sodium ions are bonding with OH ions to form NaOH, that is base. That means these ions or atoms are having a capacity to form a base when they are dissolved or when they are combined with the water. So therefore they are called as basic radicals. Why they are called basic radicals? It is because when these ions or atoms dissolved in the water, they form bases. So hence they are called as basic radicals. Like that, if you take Cl minus, when this ion is dissolved in the water, again water means H plus OH minus. So this Cl minus get combined with H plus to form HCl. You know HCl is an acid, hydrochloric acid. So that means they are acid radicals. That means these ions when dissolved in the water, they produce acid, hence the name acid radicals. These ions when dissolved in the water produces base, therefore they are called as basic radicals. And the third one, as you already know, that is positively charged and negatively charged. So this is about the why they are called by different names. Cations, because these are the ions which are moving toward the cathode, which is negatively charged. Anions, these are moving towards the anode and are negatively charged because anode is positively charged electrode. They are called by basic radicals. It is because they forms base when dissolved in the water. These are called acid radicals because they form acid when dissolved in the water. So this is about the different names for the cations or positively charged or basic radicals. Okay, now based on the capacity, the cations as well as anions are further classified, further divided into several classes. That is purely based on their capacity to donate or give or accept the electrons, or you can say capacity are based on their valency. Valency means combining capacity. Based on their combining capacity or valency, they are classified into monovalent, both cation as well as anions. Monovalent means, mono means one, valent means capacity, combining capacity. That means they are having a capacity to give are to accept only one electron. Such species we call it as monovalent species. What are monovalent species? These are the species, these are the ions which are having a potential, a capacity or ability to give one electron or to accept one electron. If they accept one electron, they becomes negatively charged. If they donate or give one electron, then they becomes cations. So therefore, both cations and anions are classified into monovalent, bivalent, trivalent, tetravalent, and pentavalent. It may be a cation or it may be anion. Both. Now we'll see about first cations. Monovalent. So here I will give you some important monovalent cations and their names. Later on we'll see how to write the formula. Okay. Now first we'll concentrate on cations. Monovalent. So in the last class we have already dictated or given this note. Anyhow, we'll just brief about that. Monovalent. First one is hydrogen. Only few I am going to present here. Hydrogen, H plus. Then sodium, Na plus. Ammonium, NH4 plus. Ammonium, NH4 plus. Potassium, K plus. Cesium, Cs plus. That means this plus sign indicates they are having a capacity or ability to give up one electrons. Now this is monovalent. Only few I am going to quote here. We'll have bivalent species. I can take the example of zinc, Zn2 plus. I can take the example of magnesium, that is Mg2 plus. Then calcium, that is Ca2 plus. Barium, Ba2 plus. Okay, so this is about some bivalent species. Trivalent. Ferric, that is Fe3 plus. Aluminium, that is Al3 plus. Here you can take ferrous, 2 plus. Cupric, that is Cu2 plus. Here you can take cuprous, it is Cu plus 1, like that. Or you can take silver, silver, that is Ag plus. Okay, ferric, aluminium. Like that, you can take the tetravalent. So tetravalent Pb4 plus, that we call it as a plumbic, or simply you can say lead, plumbic, like that. So this is about cations having capacity to give up 1 electron, 2 electrons, 3 electrons, and maximum 4 electrons. Like that, if you go with the negative ions, that is yan ions, there also you will find the same: monovalent, bivalent, trivalent, and tetravalent. Here we'll see okay. Now monovalent, chloride, that is Cl minus, chloride. Bromide, Br minus. Nitrate, NO3 minus. Nitride, NO2 minus. Nitride, NO2 minus. Then hydride, H minus 1. That means hydrogen has capacity to give 1 electron as well as accept 1 electron. That is very interesting. Hydride. Okay, so nitrate, nitride, hydride, hydroxide. That is OH minus 1. Then acetate, that is CH3, COO minus. Okay, so that means you will find a number of ions which are negatively charged, and that too monovalent. Monovalent means having capacity to accept 1 electron. Then bivalent we will see. Sulfate, CO3 minus 2, that is carbonate. Whereas bicarbonate is HCO3 minus, that is monovalent again. Whereas carbonate is bivalent, bicarbonate is monovalent. Sulfate, carbonate, sulfide, SO3 minus 2. Sulfite it is. Whereas if you put S minus 2, then it is called as sulfide. Like that. So this is about the bivalent. Then we'll see trivalent. The point which is going to be highlighted or important is, in monovalent you will find more number of ions as compared to bivalent, as compared to trivalent, like that. That means as the electron donating or accepting tendency increases, the number of ions formed will be less. It is because electron repulsion in case of negatively charged ions, nucleus and electron attraction in case of cations. That's why as the number increases, the number of species which are formed will be always less. So therefore, trivalent, you can take the example of phosphate. Okay, so that is trivalent. Tetravalent, you can take the example of carbon, C minus 4, but rare it is. Okay, so that is about the trivalent, bivalent and monovalent. So this is about the valency chart. You can say valency chart. You know already what is valency? Combining capacity. Now we'll see how to write the formula. How to write the formula of the compound. Okay. Now here first we'll have calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. Okay. Now you know already calcium is Ca2 plus and sulfate is SO4 minus 2. Here exchange the valencies, not the charge. So Ca2 plus 2 times and then sulfate with 2 minus 2. Ratio will be same, 1:1. Therefore, I can write CaSO4. That is the formula of calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. Okay. Now we'll have second example called sodium phosphate. Sodium phosphate. How to write this now? First you take sodium, and one thing is generally while writing the inorganic compounds, salts you can say, acids you can say, first always we are presenting cationic portion and followed by anionic portion. So here sodium, you know already, Na plus 1, phosphate is PO4, it is minus 3 or 3 minus. Then exchange the valencies, sodium plus 1 3 times, phosphate 1 time with minus 3 charge. Now what this number indicates? Here it is plus 1. That means 3 sodium atoms are required to bond with 1 phosphate group, because phosphate requires 3 electrons. So therefore sodium has capacity to give only 1 electron. So therefore how many sodium atoms are going to approach? 3. That's why after multiplication 3 into 1, so this is plus 3 and this is minus 3, because minus 3 into 1 minus 3. So the sum of the charges in a molecule will be always 0. Sum of the charges in the molecule will be always 0. So therefore this 3 and 1, try to remember this word. Here 3 is because 3 sodium atoms are required to maintain with bond with 1 phosphate group, or you can say 1 phosphate group. 1 phosphate group combines with 3 sodium atoms. So therefore here it is plus 3 and this is minus 3, so net charge will be 0. Now it becomes Na3 PO4, and while writing the formula, very important, don't write like this. This is not the way to present the formula, or stylish. It is not like this. This is not the way. While writing, you should see its symbolic representation. For example, if I want to present ferrous, it is always Fe only, like this only. It should not be. These are the wrong interpretations. And Here it is phosphorus. Here it is oxygen. Both are different atoms. So therefore give them equal importance. So this is not the way. Phosphorus here it is very small. Oxygen is very big. Here phosphorus is big. Oxygen is very small. This is also totally wrong presentation. The presentation should be like this. The presentation should be like this. Na3 PO4. This is the way. Okay. Now that is the second example. Third example. Third example we'll see. Calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate. You know already calcium Ca2 plus, carbonate CO3 minus 2 or 2 minus, you can say. Exchange the valencies, not the charge. Then Ca 2 times with plus 2, CO3 minus 2 with 2 times. Then the ratio will be same, therefore I can write CaCO3. That is the formula. That is the formula. So this is how we can write the formula. Okay, now we'll see one more example. Sodium acetate. It is an organic one. Sodium acetate. Generally, while writing the organic compounds, first we are presenting the anion portion, generally, and afterwards we are presenting this cationic portion, particularly when we are talking about the salts. So here, sodium acetate. Here, you know already acetate. First I will CH3 COO minus. This is acetate group. Sodium is Na plus. Na plus. Then we can say according to this, exchange the valencies, the same phenomenon is repeated. That is NaCH3 COO minus. While writing organic molecules, first we are taking the negative part followed by the positive part. So therefore I can write CH3COO Na. This is also one time, this is also one time. This is also minus 1, this is plus 1, so the ratio is also same. So I can write CH3COO Na. So now you just take the homework so that you can practice it. Okay, the examples I'll give you. Hydrogen sulfate. Hydrogen sulfate. Second, hydrogen nitrate. Number 3, calcium acetate. Number 4, sodium carbonate. Number 5, barium chloride. Okay, so in the next class we'll see how to balance the equation along with. Here in the next class I'll give you the formula. Based on that formula, how we can present the names. Okay, so we'll see in the next class about the how to write the names as well as how to balance the equation. Okay.